The Kraton, also spelled Keraton or Karaton, or the Palace of Yogyakarta, is a grand complex that was meticulously planned to reflect the Javanese cosmos. This elegant complex of pavilions was constructed based on ancient beliefs of the connection between the god, human and the natural realms. Each feature holds a special symbolic meaning related to the Javanese worldview, who consider the importance of Mount Merapi and the Indian Ocean. The Kraton was built in the center, facing directly north towards the majestic Mount Merapi. Its south side was built facing the Indian Ocean, believed to be the abode of Kanjeng Ratu Lora Kidul, the Queen of the South Seas and the mystical consort of the Sultan. This splendid example of traditional Javanese architecture has no equal. The basic and original layout of the main building of the Kraton began its construction during the reign of the first Sultan Hamengkubawono in 1755 to 1756. Other surrounding pavilions were then gradually expanded by the successor of the throne. The official symbol of the palace is named Prasina. It depicts important elements that radiate a philosophical meaning. The Javanese lettering in the center is Ha and Ba, the acronym of Hamengkubawono. The red is a symbol of courage and vigilance to value the truth, while the gold is a symbol of majestic splendor. A green square called Alun-alun or the North Square is said to be the front side of the palace, with large banyan trees guarding its center, named Kai Duandaru and Kai Jayandaru. Alun-alun Kidul or the South Square is located at the other side of the palace's north-south invisible horizontal axis. This palace was designed to be more than just a royal residence. It was built to be a focal point of the Sultan's entire kingdom. When the Sultan passed away, the cortege will leave by the southern gate and head its way to the royal cemetery located in Imogiri. Today, the Kraton is a piece of living history and tradition. It continues to be used, both as a home of the Sultan as well as for other important ceremonial and cultural functions of the Yogyakarta court. Sitai Hinggil is the highest level of the Kraton area, where the formal ceremonies, like the coronation, are held. There are two Sitai Hinggil pavilions in the palace area. Sitai Hinggil Lor is located on the north side and Sitai Hinggil Kidul is on the south side, that later was repurposed from the location of the army's rehearsal point, to become a monument dedicated to mark 200 years of the Yogyakarta Sultanate named Jujungsasna Hinggil Dwi. On weekends, you can enjoy art performances such as music, dance and the special Wayang or leather puppet show. Near this building is the Alun-alun Kidul, a destination renowned for the festive evening ambience and the mysterious Masangjan tradition. Said to be an acronym of Masuk Diantara Birinin, or literally entering between the Birinins. This is definitely one of the signatures local experience to try. In this test, you will only need to walk between the two sacred Birinin or banyan trees, and if you succeed, then you are considered to have a pure heart and will have any of your wishes granted. The only twist is, you have to be blindfolded to do it. After a few tries, you can just linger in the open square and enjoy all the fun atmosphere surrounding this famous spot. In the Kraton complex, there are 7 specific zoning that consists of several pavilions, each with designated purpose and is separated by gateways. The Sultan's residence resides at the center Kedaton area, named Kraton Kailan. One of the interesting highlights inside the Kraton is the 9th Hamengkubawono Museum. It holds a collection of memorabilia and significant items that belong to the late father of the currently reigning the 10th Sultan Hamengkubawono, who is also the governor of the special region of Yogyakarta until this day. There are also Painting Museum, Regalia Museum, and Royal Carriage Museum. Each of these beautiful royal carriages has specific names and interesting historical value. They are also used for special occasions such as the royal wedding ceremonies. The Sultan's title is not the only hereditary position in the Kraton. You can also meet the Abdi Dalam, who are the faithful caretakers of the royal households. This noble devotion is an honorable pride that is passed down from a generation to the next. Even with Yogyakarta's modernization nowadays, the Kraton of Yogyakarta continues to be respected by the people of Yogyakarta. Although the majority of Yogyakarta are Muslim, ancient tradition and mysticism still hold an important part of the Kraton's rituals. Periodically, special ceremonies are held to clean the sacred objects in the royal collection. In the afternoons, after the palace is closed to visitors, women in traditional costume can also be seen respectfully sprinkling water and flowers on the pillars, lighting incense to cleanse the Kraton from impure intention and evil spirits. The palace court with its grand and elegant Javanese architecture lies in the center of the city. Prince Mangkubumi founded the palace in 1755. The prince then was called the first Sri Sultan Hamengkubawono, and he chose the right location of the compound between Winongo River and Code River. The palace stretches out from north to south. The front yard is called Alun-alun Utara, mean the north square, and the backyard is called Alun-alun Selatan, mean the south square. The layout of the buildings shows that the palace, the commemorative column and Mount Merapi lie in one line. The palace meeting hall is called Pagelaran, where formal meetings of palace officials are held, while the Manguntur Tingkil hall is the place where the Sultan is seated. The visitors can enjoy the atmosphere of the Kraton in former times by visiting the life-size diorama of wedding ceremonies on the palace meeting hall, performed by puppets, which are intentionally arranged to create such an atmosphere. Sets of Javanese musical instruments, antiques and heirlooms have made the Palace of Yogyakarta worth to visit. Many sets of gamelan music instruments, antiques, and heirlooms make the Palace of Yogyakarta the most interesting tourist attractions in Yogyakarta. The Palace of Yogyakarta Hamengkubawono is now the dwelling place of the 10th Sultan Hamengkubawono and the family. West of the palace, there is Water Castle, built in 1758 by the prince, the first Sultan Hamengkubawono. The Water Castle is located in the older part of the city within walking distance from the bird market. Part of the pleasure garden and castle is at present no more than an intriguing collection of ruins, pools, arches and underground passages enclosed by massive walls. However, the central courtyard with the nymph baths has been restored. A number of boutique workshops line the avenue leading to the pleasure garden's entrance. Yogyakarta Palace is not only home to the king and his family, but also becomes the flame guard of Javanese culture. In this place you can learn from seeing directly on how culture still preserved in the paced development of the world. Kai Brajanala bell chimes several times, its voice not only filled but heard up to City Hingal and Bangsal Pagelaran Yogyakarta Palace. While in Sri Manganti, the chanting in Javanese ancient language is heard being sung by a palace servant. An old book, offerings, lanterns, and gamelan lay in front of him. Some foreign tourists seem to listen to Makapat songs solemnly, and sometimes they are looked pressing the shutter button to take pictures. Although did not know the meaning of the song, I also sat in the front row. Javanese song sound that floated slowly mixed with fragrance of flowers and incense smoke, created a magical atmosphere that created it complacent. On the right side appeared four other palace servants who took turn preparing to sing. Outside the pavilion, the birds chirped noisily while flew from the sapoda treetops which usually grow in Yogyakarta Palace complex and then landed on the grass. Keraton Kesultanan Yogyakarta Hadiningrat, or now better known by the name of Yogyakarta Palace, is the center of Javanese culture living museum that is in the special region Yogyakarta. Not just becomes the place to live for the king and his family, the palace is also a main direction of cultural development of Java, as well as the flame guard of the culture. At this place tourists can learn and see directly on how the Javanese culture continues to live and be preserved.